And now it is time for your 5 Billy T nominees. First up, you would have seen her on Guy Montgomery's Guy Mon Spelling Bee. It's Abby Howells.
I thought I'd let you know right up the top that I'm on the autism spectrum. And I tell you that for one reason, to brag. When I found out, I was like, oh my God, everyone is gonna be so surprised. I have autism. Who knew? And the answer is everyone. Everyone knew. There were only 2 people that were completely shocked, and that was my parents. They couldn't believe it. I went in and I told my dad, and I was like, Dad, I'm on the spectrum. And he was like, no way, you're completely normal, as he played with his model train set. And I went in and I told my mum, I was like, Mum, this is important, you gotta look me in the eyes. And she said no, and then I was like, wait a minute. Oh my God, wait a minute. We've all got it. It's Autism Central up in here. And my dad said, hey, excuse me, please, it is not Autism Central. This is a model of King's Cross Station. Thank you very much. That's actually a misconception about autism, that all autistic people like trains. We're not all friends of Thomas. When I first heard that, I was like, you know what? Psych. I don't even like trains. And then I thought about it for a second and I was like, oh no, what am I talking about? I love trains. I was recently on a train from Edinburgh to London. I had myself an egg sandwich. I had myself a cup of tea. I had myself a podcast about the Titanic, which is my favorite maritime disaster. And yeah, I know you're thinking, oh, that's pretty basic bitch of you, but can you name one that's better? Yeah, I mean, the Mary Celeste, maybe, but we don't know enough about it. But anyway, I was sitting there on the train and I genuinely had the thought, a life does not get better than this. I don't know why they didn't pick it up earlier though. I was missing a lot of social cues. When I was 12, my email address was genuinely Elvis_lives69. And I didn't know what it meant. I just thought they'd been 68 already. And that was my username when I'd go into chat rooms for teens. And my opening line was always, I'm a hound dog, baby. And then I'd be immediately blocked by everyone who assumed, and I don't blame them, that I'm the world's least subtle pedophile. I do my best out here. I'm doing my best, you know. Life is interesting. Dating is interesting. I had a breakup, and now I'm back in the dating world, and I don't know what I'm doing. I got asked out on a date last year, and I didn't want to go out on a date with this guy, but he asked me in front of a bunch of people, so I lied, and I was like, I'm so sorry, I'm seeing someone. And he was like, oh no, and I was like, alas. And as I was leaving, he was like, hey, I hope your boyfriend treats you well. And then I said, he doesn't. And he was like, what? And I was like, oh. And then I walked away and I was like, oh, Abby, come on. Like, what, your fake boyfriend isn't even nice to you? You can't even accept fake love. I used to laugh at those people that would marry a ghost and then get cheated on by the ghost. But I'm no better. And lest we forget, I was not a Casanova even before the breakup. Once I ate a cobweb at a party to impress a guy that I liked. And yeah, I know you're thinking, oh, that's pretty tragic. But nah, it was actually incredibly successful. Yeah. I mean, he did hook up with another girl on top of a washing machine, but he could see me out the window. And I feel like that's not nothing. Like, that's something. And he could see me where I was, of course, eating another cobweb. My mother didn't raise a quitter. Once the guy came up to me and he was like, oh, you smell nice. And I was like, thanks, it's eczema cream. And he was like, okay. I walked away and I was like, oh, Abby, you beefed it out there. Could have used that opportunity to say something really smooth and cool, like, hey, man, Hey, man. Hey, man. If you like the way I smell, boy, will you simply love my genitals. But that is just so typical. Like, you always think of the perfect thing to say as soon as they walk away. But I feel very proud to tell you, audience, that I did have my first romance since the breakup last year. Legend and Queen. Yes, I went overseas, and I had a fling with someone when I was overseas. An Englishman. Yeah, nice for some. The last night we spent together in London, and it was genuinely very romantic. Like, we walked along the Thames holding hands. At one point we saw a fox. I'd never seen a fox before, so it was pretty exciting for me. And we waited outside Buckingham Palace at night, and we went, "Yes, Queen!" And then she died like 2 days later, probably from cringe. But the next day I was going back to New Zealand, so we had to say goodbye, and we got on the underground, and he got off at one station and I got off at the next station. And obviously one part of me was sad, but another part of me was also happy because I was on a train, and I love trains. Thank you. I've